Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to have you here today. Today's presentation is titled, The Underestimated Power of Respect in Relationships. We'll explore how respect influences the strength and longevity of our connections. And I'll be sharing insights from Dr. Orion Taraban on the psychology of disrespect and its subtle impact. So, let's dive in and discover why respect truly matters more than we often realize. Disrespect. It's interesting because it doesn't usually show up as a big, dramatic event all at once. Instead, it tends to develop slowly over time. And often, it hides in small behaviors that might seem minor or even innocent at first. These behaviors can carry what we call plausible deniability, meaning the person doing them can easily deny any intention to disrespect. Recognizing this pattern is important because it helps us understand how disrespect can creep into our relationships gradually, making it harder to notice until it's become a real problem. This idea connects to the overall theme of how subtle behaviors can have a big impact, and why being aware of these small signs is key to maintaining respectful interactions. Understanding and addressing disrespect is absolutely essential in any relationship. It's not just something that men need to be aware of to maintain healthy connections, but it's equally important for women who want to protect the integrity of their love. When we talk about respect, we're really talking about the foundation of trust and mutual regard. If disrespect goes unrecognized or unaddressed, it can slowly erode that foundation and cause serious issues down the line. So, whether you're on one side or the other, recognizing the signs and knowing how to handle disrespect is crucial for keeping love strong and genuine. This is a key part of what we're exploring in this presentation, how respect shapes healthy relationships and how both partners play a role in nurturing it. Disrespect is a process, not just a single event. Dr. Taraban highlights that it often starts in subtle, covert ways before it escalates into open hostility. Think about how a bully in high school or in prison operates. Rarely does it begin with outright violence. Instead, they test their target with small acts, like bumping into them in the hallway, just to see how they respond. Recognizing that disrespect develops gradually helps us understand that it's a series of small steps rather than one sudden outburst. This idea ties into our overall theme, that understanding the progression of disrespect can help us intervene early and prevent things from escalating further. When someone who's being bullied offers an apology, like saying, "Excuse me," it often signals to the bully that they've got an opportunity to escalate. And unfortunately, many bullies see that kind of apology as a sign of weakness, which can encourage them to push even further. On the other hand, if the target stands their ground, maybe with a warning glance or an assertive response, they send a very different message. That kind of confidence makes the bully reconsider and often stops them from continuing their aggression. In relationships, these kinds of tests show up in more subtle ways: sarcasm, dismissiveness, or belittling comments. What might seem like harmless teasing, like rolling your eyes or making a sarcastic remark, can actually be a warning sign. If left unchecked, these small behaviors can escalate into full-blown contempt or hostility. So, understanding these dynamics is key. It's about recognizing when someone is testing boundaries and knowing how your reactions can influence whether the situation escalates or de-escalates. This ties into the overall theme of the presentation, how to effectively respond to challenging behaviors and maintain control in difficult interactions. Now, let's talk about why women might not always realize they're being disrespectful. One of the key insights from this talk is that men and women often define respect differently. For example, a man might feel disrespected by behaviors like nagging, sarcasm, or dismissiveness. But for women, those actions can sometimes just be seen as normal expressions of frustration or emotional intensity. This mismatch in perceptions can lead to situations where women unintentionally undermine their partner's dignity without even realizing it. And of course, this can have long-term consequences for the relationship. Dr. Taraban suggests a simple but powerful test to help us gauge whether our behaviors might be crossing a line. He asks us to consider, would I treat my boss this way if I wanted to keep my job? If the answer is no, then it's a good sign that the behavior could be perceived as disrespectful. For instance, rolling your eyes at feedback, speaking sarcastically in response to requests, complaining angrily instead of constructively, or mocking your partner's attempts at leadership. All of these behaviors, if they wouldn't be acceptable in a professional setting, shouldn't be acceptable in an intimate relationship either. And the big question is, why would we accept such behaviors in a relationship that's meant to be even more valuable and close? Recognizing these behaviors is the first step toward respecting our partners in a way that truly strengthens the relationship. Now, at this point, many women might say, "A man is not my boss." And you know what? They're right. But the comparison here isn't about hierarchy or domination. It's about voluntarily choosing to enter into a shared framework of expectations. Think about it like this. Just as an employee freely chooses to work under a boss's authority in a professional setting, a partner also chooses to engage in a relationship where mutual respect, roles, and boundaries are clearly understood. The deeper message I want to highlight is this. If a woman shows more courtesy and restraint toward her boss than she does toward her partner, what message does that send? It's implicitly telling the man that her professional relationship is more important than her romantic one. And whether she intends it or not, that message lands clearly. It's a subtle signal about priorities, and it's crucial to recognize that these choices, how we treat different relationships, can influence how men perceive their role and their importance in our lives. So, understanding this comparison helps us see that respecting boundaries isn't just about rules. It's about valuing the relationship itself. And that's a key part of building a healthy, respectful partnership. Let's talk about why disrespect is actually dangerous for women themselves. There's a bit of a paradox here. Disrespect doesn't just harm men, it also undermines women in two significant ways. First, there's the risk of losing the relationship. Any man who truly values himself and has options will not tolerate ongoing disrespect. If a woman repeatedly dismisses or mocks her partner, she's essentially pushing him away, either leading to withdrawal, resentment, or even him walking away entirely. And secondly, there's an erosion of her own capacity to love. Here's a key psychological insight. Men can love a woman they don't respect, but women cannot love a man they don't respect. For women, love is rooted in respect. So when disrespect becomes a pattern, it doesn't just hurt him. It also damages her own feelings of affection, admiration, and attraction toward him. In other words, disrespect isn't just about hurting his ego. It also gradually eats away at her own heart. Recognizing this connection is crucial because respecting each other is foundational, not just for the health of the relationship, but for her emotional well-being as well. All right, let's talk about the man's responsibility when it comes to addressing disrespect early on. The key takeaway here is simple. It's crucial for men to nip covert disrespect in the bud as soon as it appears. Allowing it to go unchallenged can lead to escalation, which not only weakens attraction, but also slowly erodes the foundation of the relationship. Now, I want to be clear. This doesn't mean you should respond with anger or insecurity. Instead, it's about staying calm and setting boundaries in a firm but respectful way whenever subtle disrespect shows up. By doing this, you're protecting your dignity and also creating a space where your partner can love and respect you genuinely. Remember, addressing disrespect early helps maintain a healthy dynamic and keeps the relationship strong. It's about being proactive, not reactive, and ensuring that mutual respect is preserved from the start. So, to wrap things up, the main message of this talk isn't about male ego or female submission. Instead, it's about mutual respect as the foundation of true intimacy. Disrespect often starts small, something minor that can easily be overlooked. But if we don't address it, it can grow into something much bigger and harder to fix. It's important to understand that women and men may have different ways of defining respect. Sometimes, women might unknowingly disrespect men simply because their perceptions of respect don't align. And here's a crucial point. A woman can't truly love a man she doesn't respect. Respect is fundamental to love. Men need to be aware of and deal with subtle, covert disrespect early on. If they ignore it, they risk not only their self-esteem but also the health of the relationship itself. In essence, if a man neglects these small signs of disrespect, he's endangering the possibility of love. And for women, the stakes are even higher. By undermining respect, they might unintentionally destroy their own capacity to love the man they once chose. So, the key takeaway is that mutual respect isn't just a nice idea. It's essential for nurturing and maintaining a healthy, loving relationship.